morning campers, coffee time with a scarf. So, you know how synchronicities work? You know, because there's no such thing as a coinkydink, or coincidence. Did I just explain that? Sorry, I've got 5 kids, you have to excuse me. Yeah, I was going to talk about limited hangouts and controlled demolition, and on the way here I was thinking about political leaders. Take me to your leader. Even as a kid, I used to think, fucking hell, if any aliens landed and said, take me to your leader, I'd be like, really? It's a little bit embarrassing. It's a bit embarrassing. And then I'm in the cafe, and I just happen to see this. The Conservative Party, forward by Michael Howard. And this is hilarious. Look, you've got, for 1, 2, 3, 4, well, 3 very famous Conservative leaders, Churchill, Thatcher and Disraeli, I think that is. And then you've got John Major and Michael Howard on the front cover. What? These guys know nothing about selling books, you fuckwits. Winston Churchill. We will let them in at the beaches. We will fight them in the air. You know, Churchill used to go to a famous hotel in Marrakesh where I used to live called, what's it called? I've forgotten what it's fucking called now. But Morocco, back in the 30s, 40s, 20s, and still, massive child trafficking hub. If you go and read Prick Up Your Ears by Joe Orton, which is the autobiography of the playwright Joe Orton, who was murdered by his boyfriend Kenneth Halliwell in 1969, I think, with a hammer. He was best friends with Kenneth Williams, who also wrote about Morocco. And you'll read how Morocco was the choice of paedophiles, the choice of gay men is what they would put it forward as. But really, it's a bit dodgier than that. And it still is. I mean, if you go and look up... I remember before I moved to Marrakesh, I typed in something about the Jamal al-Fanar, and I found a blog post from somebody who described how the predators, the paedophile predators, hang out around Jamal al-Fanar waiting for young boys, 10, 11, 12, 13, to come and toss them off. And I thought, am I really moving here? I'm not saying Morocco's full of paedophiles, it's just a little bit interesting. Churchill, famous satanic paedophile. Oh look, there's Michael Thatcher. Where there is discord, may we bring harmony. Yes, I fucking hate that bloke. Her dad was a shopkeeper. Do you remember that bullshit about, we will turn Britain into a nation of shopkeepers? Really? Really, Michael? Really? I'm glad she's gone. Disraeli, I can't do an impression of Disraeli because there's no video evidence. John Major, yes. Yes, oh, Edwina. Edwina, his girlfriend, who famously wrote about stuff in Parliament, and she actually described people as, he was a well-known pedivore. That's a quote from one of her books. I can't remember who she was referring to, anybody in the 80s Tory cabinet. Yes, he was a well-known pedivore. Just let that sink in. That's from the woman who tried to stop us eating eggs. Eggs! One of the best sources of nutrition you could possibly have. Do you remember salmonella? All bullshit. Yeah, this is an illustrated history. An illustrated history of the Conservative Party. It's all bullshit. The whole party system worldwide has just been invented, created to give the illusion of democracy. There's never been whatever you think democracy means, there's never been that thing that you think exists. It's never, ever existed. All this stuff about voter fraud in the States at the moment with Trump and 2020, when the actor playing Joe Biden, or the clone, whatever you want to believe, but that's not Joe Biden, apparently won 80 million votes from his basement. Did you see the rallies that Biden allegedly did with all the circles, keeping their distance, 6 feet apart, 6 feet apart, 6 feet... Oh, that's 666. Weird. And compare that to Trump's rallies. Now, David Icke would have you believe that Trump is on the same team as them. I don't agree with that, but that's because I'm an apocalyptimist, and I do admire David Icke's work enormously. So it's a difficult one. That situation, and don't go on about Operation Warp Speed. There's I ain't got time to talk about that today because it's such a big subject. But what I was going to talk about is being aware of limited hangouts and controlled demolition. So one of the narratives that's being pushed at the moment, quite largely, is the thing about within politics. I'm talking about, and within media, what's emerging is the excess deaths. Safe and effective. Are they safe and effective? The vaccines I'm talking about, obviously. But within that narrative, the people pushing that narrative are avoiding the biggest thing about the vaccines, which is that COVID was a fake pandemic designed to entice people to inject themselves or give consent to be injected with a bioweapon, a gene-altering bioweapon full of nanotechnology, the effects of which we've only just started to see. So, and I've brought this up with a number of people. I've said, why are people engaging in the political discourse and trying to create this argument and debates and stuff like that? Well, they can't, if we, this is what I keep hearing. Well, if they start saying, it was deliberate genocide or democide, whatever term you want to use, it's like mass murder, there's a better term, it would freak too many people out and they wouldn't engage in the political. Good. Don't engage in the political process, because the political process is bullshit. That's why they publish bullshit books like this with Michael Howard on the front cover. Who? Michael who? Seriously, go and look up the Paedophile Information Exchange, PIE, P-I-E. That was in the 1970s in the UK. It wasn't just men, dirty old men. Harriet Harman, the former acting leader of the Labour Party, Harriet Harman, who's been an MP since the 70s, she was involved in the Paedophile Information Exchange. She wasn't the only one. There's another woman in the Labour Party whose name I can't remember right now. I apologise for that. It might come back to me. Their objectives were to normalise paedophilia back in the 70s. And that's what they're doing right now. And these limited hangouts, are they safe and effective? And then Rishi Sunak says safe but not effective in Parliament. It's all a limited hangout. It's exactly the same as Catholicism or any other cult. They draw your energy. They draw your energy into the debate. And then they do a controlled demolition. See, the thing is, they can't hide the excess deaths. That's the thing. So they have to hide it in plain sight. And the way that they do it is they say, look, we've oh, isn't this great? And what happens then is you, who is connected to God, you who knows the truth, goes, fantastic, something's happening. But is it really? Or is it a controlled demolition? Sucking your energy into something that is actually distracting you from the main problem. The main problem is that 22,000 children every single day since the Second World War, at least, have gone missing. Where have they gone? Those are official statistics. Look them up. 22,000 children. That's not counting the ones that they grow underground. I'm not joking. They breed them. Yeah? Satanic ritual abuse, adrenochrome. That's the problem. Don't get distracted. Don't fall for it. Watch your energy. Watch where you're putting your attention. And keep connecting yourself to God, because that is the only intel you should be interested in, because the intel that you get from God is the only intel you can trust. I'm not even telling you to trust what I'm saying. It's the same thing I say to my kids every day. Have a nice day in prison. This is when I drop them off at school. You might have heard me say this before, but I'll say it again. Have a nice day in prison, because that's what school is. It's just teaching kids how to behave and to wear a uniform and to learn bullshit. That's why I also say, remember, everything that they're teaching you, you're going to have to unlearn. I've spent my entire life unlearning the shit I learnt at school. That's quite a long time now, because I'm an old bastard. And the final thing I would say to all of you is question everything, including this. God bless you.